We are live. Hello, hello.
Okay.
Okay, let's go.
Uh,
My
uh,
yes.
okay, nice. Let me just move things to the different screens so I can see all the awesome, wholesome chat comments. As always.
Hello, hello. Just making
And
sure everything is.
everything is paying.
Yes. Yeah, I can hear us.
Uh, okay. So. Yes, I can see this on YouTube. Shit. Uh, sorry.
It's fine. It's
Okay,
my screen is on,
so
so it's totally
yeah,
cool.
I just kind of I'm retarded as always.
Retarded
Uh,
Adam.
okay, so cool. I can see both streams now. Let me just mute them so I can not hear my annoying voice. Let me just share stuff so um we can see things. I had like a billion screens opened, so just okay. Hello guys. Welcome to the next stream.
I'm loading a
GM
proper screen, and we can slowly
GM
roll.
at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to the next stream. Let me, sorry, I fucking forgot to
Dude,
share
we're
it on
1000.
OBS.
We're 1080p on Twitter. That is insane.
Wow, the AI is taking over. Um, uh, uh,
No worries. Take your time.
yeah, it's going to be okay. Uh, okay, so I think everything is shared now. Someone is asking you if you are coming to the Sonic Summit in Vienna.
I would rather kill myself. I hope that answers the question.
Um, okay. So, hi
Like
guys,
Sonic, like
welcome.
Phantom, or
Yeah, I guess. I once had the MDMA, which was called Sonic. That was the closest that I ever was to Sonic.
what a start to the
Anyway,
stream. This guy.
um, cool. So, hi guys, welcome to the Bitcoin 500 stream. We're going to be talking
And
about
Hyperliquid exploit
yeah, and
stream.
the Hyperliquid exploit stream. So, let's start with BTC. Um, I think we both kind of touched upon the fact that this thing is just levered equity index at this point, but there has been, few things happening. Runner had, I think, very good point
I
on
think
on
it's
his
first time I'm
stream
hearing a
on.
compliment from you.
Yeah, yeah. My follow-up was that if someone is insane enough to follow up with like 700 tweets of a complete garbage you tweet every day, but the point of the runner's point that basically, we are coming closer to the tariffs, which are supposed to be in play on the April 2nd. I think this created this kind of we had this big sell-off in equities. A lot of people were like full on panic basically, and now we kind of see this kind of rebounds, which I think was very good trade on the long side. This kind of a peak panic, and there were some things on the equity indices, like people were fully kind of panicking. And we see the rebound. So I think the longs here were pretty good. Play, we still have a week left basically, and it seems
yes,
to be
exactly week.
like, yeah, exactly a week into the play. I think, we in my personal opinion, obviously, I think BTC rallied from 77K to 87 now, 86. So, longing here is probably not the best idea, but I still kind of can see the buying pressure continue. I think we saw on derivatives as well, some of the things we had quite a decent flush in the open interest on this kind of a leg down. We are rallying on negative funding as well, which is, to be fair, quite rare if you look in the past. Especially there has been a lot of buying on perps as well, so it's kind of interesting dynamic that there is actually more demand, or there is like an actual demand from spot this time around. So yeah, I think BTC overall is looking pretty decent. Obviously, funnily enough, we sold a little bit today. If you
It's
have a
TradFi
look on
related,
the
probably.
yeah, if you look at the S&P 500 hourly candle, basically at 2 p.m., basically 2 hours ago, and if you look at the BTC candle 2 hours ago, they are once again kind of one to one. Runner shared some of the observations that BTC kind of dumping after the US close, when obviously, yeah. So it's tough. I think it's a all of kind of macro connected at this point. BTC probably lacking a little bit of a narrative on its own to break this kind of decorrelation. I think we saw I think one of the reasons why one of the kind of, because like if you look at S&P, we are actually trading at that kind of a Trump election win date, basically the November 5th. So we are basically at the same price as we were on the sell-off. Obviously, we traded underneath that. Bitcoin didn't really came that much down, which I think obviously when Trump won the elections, that was this kind of a big, narrative of overall kind of a global bull market type of situation, which didn't really happen with tariffs and all that. But, I think Bitcoin at that point, post elections, basically had its own kind of narrative with all the strategic reserve, which is why it kind of overshot much further, in my opinion, at least. Right now, that being gone, markets, I think we kind of start to see a little bit of this kind of stabilization around all of these tariff news. I think it's kind of priced in at this point. Obviously, there is going to be a reaction next week once they can come and play, but I think the trade around tariffs is more or less done. I think unless there is something like a huge like the more kind of huge unexpected news basically coming in. But I think a lot of the tariff pricing, we saw in metals as well. I know everyone who's watching the stream is obviously actively trading copper, same as I do. But for example, copper basically making new all-time highs this week, which was also kind of led
Should I pull up a chart
by.
of copper? How do I
No,
even
there's
spell
there's no
copper?
need. There's no need. All you need to know is that looking better is looking better than Ethereum. So, but no, yeah. So that was also kind of driven by the tariffs. That there were some tariffs on steel and all of this type of stuff. So I think this is fading off a little bit. This kind of an initial shock right now. Which brings us to where we are right now. Obviously, we still have 1 week to go until the tariffs taking place. There is probably going to be some volatility around that, but yeah, my overview or my kind of bias on BTC is probably still a little bit bullish until for the next week or so. There was a lot of this buying on perhaps, especially over the weekend, which is always kind of a sketchy thing to see. We basically rallied from Sunday and we didn't really trade it underneath the kind of Sunday open, the weekend price action. So if we start to roll over, I think that's going to be pretty quick, at least back until like 83K, where the weekend price is, because there is going to be quite a bit of unwind of positioning. But other than that, when in doubt, short Ethereum type of situation. Yeah, it's looking. I don't know. I'm to be quite super honest. I'm not really much biased at this point. I was biased long middle of the month. I think that was a pretty great reversal. I'm no longer in that position. Got out way sooner than I should have, as it has to be. And now
Sorry,
I'm
which
more of
ticker?
a
Tesla?
observing. No. I think for BTC, I mean for
Ah,
BTC, like
yeah,
I was
sorry.
longing around middle of the March, like on 11th or something like that. But haven't held for that long, so I think I got out around 85 for that, and haven't basically longed this kind of a second leg higher. So yeah, I'm personally very much flat. I was actually thinking about shorting ETH over the weekend, and I didn't do it, and obviously ETH is selling down now, so. Uh, that's unfortunate. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have that much to say. Like we saw like some rebound. I saw obviously some alt season calls
Yeah, easiest
already.
short ever.
So some things has been going on. Well, I think it's like mostly Fartcoin, which was
Yeah,
like
dude. Sorry to interrupt you, but OKX just announced listing of Jelly Jelly. Jesus Christ.
yeah. So I think we
We're
can
gonna talk
slowly
about
jump
that.
into that. Yeah. I think Runner has much more to say, but yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean no, look, I wanna cover Bitcoin because it is
Yeah.
our favorite. It's the coin that I'm actually like have willing to have exposure to, and fully agree with you regards the tariffs, kind of old news. However, like every macro decision or like within international trade, monetary and fiscal policy decisions, they have some time. There's like a lag between, let's say you make the decision today, but you'll see the results you know in the data in the future, right? So
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing that a lot of the much smarter macro people, I'm just like reciting their words, is like to see how the tariffs will affect growth, which you can stick your finger up your ass and how you woke up that day, try to predict how it does, but we need time to see. So that's sometime in the future. And generally speaking, seasonality in summer is dead. Like how many summers we had the worst. Like from I remember summers. People call it sell in May, walk away, but it's not even about selling. It can be chop, but is when people try to day trade these choppy conditions. It's usually not the best idea. Like if you with respect to save everybody time, you can just look at all the previous May to like September price action. It's usually hilariously boring. All of these years been super super boring
Yeah.
sideways.
Yeah.
So
Let
it's
me
like
see. I actually have a seasonal chart here somewhere. I can have a look, but yeah, I think you are generally correct. I'm looking at futures, so it's probably not like a full picture. It's only last 7 years, but yeah, it basically the seasonality for BTC now, at least for futures, coming from like a beginning, the seasonal trend is actually down, basically until September.
yeah.
It's yeah, that's
I mean, it's
yeah,
literally like
that's
that's what boomers say, right? People on Twitter laugh at it always. They like mock it, but sell in way, walk away, and basically you want to rebuy for what is it, Labor Day? Which I can Google when is Labor Day. Labor
yeah,
Day
yeah,
USA when? It's 1st of September ish. Yeah, it's and let's see. Let's see. I think it's fair to say it's pointless to try to predict so much in the future, but I'm only saying this because tariff all news 1 week to go. Let's see how it affects growth. They wanted to take down 10-year, and if I look at 10-year, it's actually the only thing that is green on my watch list. It's
yeah,
back to the range highs. It's let's see. Crypto, as for crypto
yeah.
itself, it's
I
been
think
extremely slow.
overall for
Sorry.
like a for the S&P and for BTC, I think this kind of a second half of March was a very good level to rebound. I think I saw personally like a peak. peak kind of bearish bias overall, which, usually tends to be the good signal to go against it. I was buying some stocks. I think you were also buying some stocks. You're buying
I'm only
Tesla.
trading Tesla
I got
basically these days. Look at this chart. It's
yeah.
beautiful.
I got some like Amazon longs, which I still actually have, but yeah, I don't think basically the risk reward for the long side at these prices is still there. I
Yes.
think that the bounce kind of came. Obviously, it's hard to ignore, that kind of a general, like a bigger sell-off we had. So I would be definitely more cautious around here. I still think that, from like a higher time frame perspective, I think Bitcoin, if we would come back to this kind of sub 70K range,
Holy
which we
fuck.
had
Holy fuck.
in the last.
Binance Futures will launch Jelly. What a pieces of shits. Fuck me, man. Oh my god. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
fucking hell. Oh god.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's another scam. I think we can slowly move into that. I think TLDR for Bitcoin right now is, in my opinion, at least the longs, they kind of happened. You had, we had a nice bounce from the lows sub 80K. I wouldn't buy it here. I also wouldn't really short it because I don't really have a setup for that. So I'm more of a patiently waiting to see what's going to happen, especially next week when the tariffs come in play.
Yeah, so I guess flavor of the day is this situation, and this is not just like disclaimer, like Hyperliquid's been a popular product, a very successful one as well, but they've had this situation right now, which, Jesus Christ, man, this is so volatile. It's not the first time, but basically it's why I named the stream highly profitable trading strategy, because some people might not. Did the stream rug? Or no? 1 second. No, it's still working. Good. I can still see the stream.
Yeah,
No, good. Just my device lagged. The story with highly profitable trading strategy goes back to the Mango Ave days. Do you remember that at all? It's like 2021.
Yeah.
But he took advantage of a platform called Mango Markets, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, it resulted in the exchange or like the product going insolvent, if I'm not mistaken, and guy is now in prison, quite literally, for market manipulation. And his argument was, it's free market. Either way, something very interesting is happening with. Look, it's not with Hyperliquid. I need to be honest here. It's like with Jelly, which I can look at CoinGecko. Like, I don't know what the fuck Jelly is. You know what I mean? So Jelly, I can't believe Let's look at daily chart. Jelly looks very. I mean, I assume it's a meme coin from. Yeah, it's on Solana, so it's a meme coin. On CoinGecko you can see the pump fun thingy. So right now it's up 237% today, and after the pump, it is $43 million market cap shitcoin. And if you look at the bottom before it started rallying earlier today, it was at the bottom $9.1 million market cap. So from my understanding, somebody went. Sorry?
Recap what exactly happened, basically.
Okay, let me try slowly. So, some guy, from my understanding, put up a huge short on Jelly on Hyperliquid, then started buying a lot of spot, right? And while also longing perps on different account, right? So going both long and short perps, buying up spot, getting liquidated on the short position. And from my very 10 IQ understanding, what I read from some people before we started the stream, how Hyperliquid liquidation mechanism works, they absorb it, right? So effectively you have Hyperliquid market maker wall being short like $7 million worth of Jelly. So at a certain point they were shorting with like 40% of all open interest. And so, you know, they're like unrealized lost like $10 million, let's say. And OKX list, Jelly Jelly, Binance list, Jelly Jelly. It's like, holy shit, this is insane.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah, that's
we're streaming, so I cannot fucking do 11 things at the same time, but I'm reading something along the lines that they took the loss. Which I might be
I
wrong.
see.
Maybe somebody can. Hyperliquid delist Jelly Jelly after Binance and OKX perpetual listing. To like simplify it, a coin that was $9 million market cap and arguably zero in open interest. Let's actually look in. It's not even in. Yeah, it's so shit. It's not even in coinalize.com. What is it? Coinalize.net. 1 second.
It's delisted now, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1 second. Yeah, but I want to see maybe this scam is on Coinalize. Futures data, aggregated data. And we're looking for Jelly Jelly. Yeah, they have it. Hell yeah. I need to quickly aggregate it. Aggregated.
Yeah, but I think, you know, at the moment it seems like the Hyperliquid just took the loss, and
Yes, that's my understanding.
yeah, which that's probably a pretty smart thing to do, although it's selling down back down. Yeah. To be fair, like this is obviously, and you know, like when markets are kind of dry like this, you know, there has been not much happening. You open this kind of a whole new world of, you know, scams basically coming in. Yeah, that's pretty.
That is fucking insane, man. Oh, these charts are totally fucked, but I mean, it's very like somebody cornered the supply, squeezed. Like it's just exploiting. My understanding is exploiting how their engine works. But man, is this a nasty exchange behavior? Like, and I've even seen the lady from what is her name, Hey He.
Yeah, the Binance.
Yeah, the Binance lady. She's like, even my computer cannot translate, but people are saying crime in the chat. Inverse brach, you know, so kind regards. So true.
Yeah.
So, and then Binance lists it, and yeah. At least
Yeah,
the Hyperliquid
it's
coin
great.
is bouncing hard, so.
Yeah. Interesting.
So that's kind
it's
of,
a little
it
bit,
happened
you
10
know,
minutes before we started stream, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, you know, it's funny because like a lot of this like on-chain stuff and, you know, like all of these like shitters, these liquid meme coins and everything, like it's kind of like what is, you know, like what drags a lot of like not really smart people that, you know, like, or like people that just want, you know, 100x and they, you know, never trade Bitcoin. They always trade all these like meme coins and small coins and all of that. But at the same time, you have like some very, very smart people, you know, looking at ways how they can, you know, exploit things and all of that. So it's definitely an interesting market. I think probably all of you know that neither me or Runner are actively, you know, I wasn't really waking up today thinking that I will be trading Jelly Jelly. So yeah, that's probably all I can say in that regards. But yeah, it seems like the situation overall is kind of stabilizing a little bit. Hyperliquid is bouncing.
Oh yeah,
Back.
that was the fucking trade when they probably delisted that shit or took the loss. That was probably the trade of the week on hype. But I mean, if you longed Hyperliquid on this dip, I'm getting the fuck out now. Like, you know, you got your 10-20%. It's like fucking 20% move. Get the fuck out. 5-10% move. Get the fuck out and see what they do. The unfortunate reality is it is the second time they had this. It's not really an exploit, but like some trader took advantage. That is I think factual language here, without trying to be edgy or funny. It was first on Ethereum, and people thought it's a hack because how did somebody make money longing ETH? Remember that one? And now on this Jelly, which to me is insane. Look, why in the fuck do you have perpetuals? Like, why do you have futures for a $10 million market cap coin?
Yeah,
Honestly, like,
it's
why?
funny because like Obviously a couple of months ago when all these things were trading at, few hundred mil, they were like very, very liquid. Like all these coins, the CZ's dog and the
Broccoli.
squirrel and chill guy and all of these things, like they were basically 10 times the open interest that they are now, and they're just like super illiquid at this point. So yeah, it's like complete shift from, like if you, yeah, I saw someone posting about chill guy this morning on Twitter. If you kind of look at the chart, if you look at like hourly chart, it's basically just doing another traumatizing event for a lot
Jesus
of people
Christ.
that I saw, like people calling back some of these coins back.
Yeah,
So yeah,
heroin users.
yeah. One thing that I think, yeah, from all the altcoins, to be fair, I only kind of caught up more on Fartcoin. I think that still kind of gets, I think that still has some decent open interest as well. It's not like that illiquid. Um, and we also had a Bon guy making 7 figures on it, and it got, I saw like a lot of mind share on it. I think that's pretty good proxy to like a meme coin season. Like I think it's really got a lot of mind share, so I think it's pretty interesting. And it moved, it did like 2x
Yeah, more.
in the
Yeah.
last week or so. So that was pretty nice trade.
So
Still
you're saying
down there, but
Fatcoin is like your meme coin proxy, not so much Solana
yeah.
itself.
I think, yeah, like to be fair, I think whatever moves is going to be the narrative thing. For me, it's just more like, you know, I was in long Fartcoin, so there's that, but it just shows that I think if you are, actively trading these things, like not being in this mindset that like everything is completely dead, and still kind of trying to actively, like if you are into, if you were like, let's say you were trading altcoins, a couple of months ago when things were kind of more interesting, it's still, I think, pretty good to keep an eye on. And there's not that many things that are worth watching at the same time as well, so it's not like it's like very too complicated.
No, Solana has had some, I guess, what you could call positive development. Mostly, BlackRock, Biddle, thingy coming to Solana, but through Wormhole and Securitize. But maybe I'm biased because I worked at the company, but I've seen the announcements before. I'm not sure if that's like news. But also Fidelity, filed for the Solana ETF, which is like a first serious player. Like nothing against Van Eck, but how much does Bitcoin ETF through Van Eck does, like in terms of volume and inflows? Not much. Let's just call it how it is. And you want to see, I think, Fidelity and BlackRock. If you want to see a true inflow, like any potential for inflows, it's gonna be Fidelity and BlackRock. So
Yeah.
Solana rallied a little bit, and the CME futures launch was total flop. Also, let's just call it how it is.
Yeah, that's probably a yeah, pretty accurate. I think, yeah, it did like 12 million notional.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much it's doing now.
Don't even waste your time. Not much. Like
On a CME futures, so let's have a look. Volume and OI. Yeah, it's doing like 300 contracts, which is times 500, which is basically about 15, 20, like 17 million. Yeah, that's not much.
yeah.
That's not much. So yeah, yeah, I mean, what else? What else? It's
There
not
was a lot
much
of like,
to be.
and on this very quickly back to the jelly situation. This like manipulative, very obviously not very authentic price action. Very manipulated Fugazi. It's not the first time, and also in the past 3 weeks we've seen that a bunch. I haven't traded it, but have you seen auction chart?
I have saw it, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's
kind of
like
funny thing. I
the
was
classic
actually watching.
DWF chart.
Yeah,
It's same with
yeah,
TRB back in the day, so that's why I'm bringing it up because it's not the first time. It's like been a common thing in crypto. Like still to this day my favorite scam of all time. Like TRB going from $80 to 550.
Yeah, and I think I
Same
remember that.
situation. Same situation. Like, and now
It
it's back to
happened like
30.
yeah, like at Christmas. Yeah, I or like at the like end of the year, not the last year, but the year before that. It was quite funny.
So
Yeah, we think
these
yeah.
like, and it's actually fucking insane how many headlines. I'm not sure if you've been paying attention, but Binance offboarded a market maker, and Binance fired multiple people for insider trading. Did you see the movements lab thing? Also, that's why it's pumping now. It's like, man, amount of crime in like, it's actually fucking insane how much. That's why people are like, why do you hate the industry so much? Like, can we do better? Like, I'm not even hating industry. I'm just retweeting headlines of how shitty we're doing as an industry. Have you seen the
Yeah.
movement thing? So they basically lost. They're gonna refund a bunch of people, from my understanding, and they have to buy up a bunch of supply. So a bunch of coins on open market. So people front run it, of course, and now it's doing full Burj Khalifa again. It's like every day we have some
Yeah,
new total
it's
shit
been
happening.
yeah, it's been quite a I also saw the cryptocom situation which they brought the new coins back from being burned forever. That's also kind of fun. Although I don't know a single living person that ever used crypto.com till this day. But yeah, it's been not that exciting in the industry to say at least. I think we are kind of in this period where uh crypto is kind of going to need to find a new narrative. Um,
Maybe just slow down the amount of scamming and bullshit. It's. I don't think it's. Is it really that challenging? Like, the meme, the guy sitting in a classroom with like the fart, loading, and
yeah,
it's just like,
I
can we
think I feel
stop
you.
bullshit? Is it that difficult?
Yeah, it is. It seems like at
I
least.
mean, it's.
Um, so yeah, someone mentioned Ripple in the chat, that's still holding up quite well. I think, we are having all the ETFs and everything coming. I'm not sure when. Um, mm, that's probably going to be a little bit more successful than Solana, I think
I mean,
at
it's probably
least.
just following Bitcoin at this point. Yeah, it's kind of doing
Yeah.
nothing. But sure, like to keep it short, XRP is still a good coin.
Yeah. There's not that many of them. What else is I think holding kind of well?
Jelly Jelly.
I s- I think yeah, I saw some people posting about BNB. I wouldn't personally touch it. I think, I don't have a trading history of the Binance coin. I think there's like a most crime-fested chart ever.
Sorry, which
Uh,
one?
no, BNB.
I mean, they just did Hyperliquid very, very dirty.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
deserve the
I
scandal.
think yeah, the chart is kind of holding up, but yeah, I don't really trade it. I don't really look at it because I feel like there's like so much uh stuff going on there. Let's say at least. So yeah, it's once again kind of a Bitcoin's game. I feel like it's really going to be important to see with the tariffs. It's unfortunately we came from this point of view where we used to talk a lot about if the altcoins are heavily dependent on what BTC is basically going to do next. Now I feel like BTC is very dependent on what S&P is going to do next and what stocks are going to do next, which is obviously not ideal situation, but it would make sense to prioritize coins that haven't retraced Trump candle and ignored us. Yeah, I think that's pretty good thinking. I would say there's probably not that many of them that haven't retraced the Trump candle. I can think of like XRP probably. Most of them I think did. Um,
You know what? I wanna to
but
add
yeah,
something productive, not just shit on shit. What there are a lot of I would refer as, I guess, news trading ish setups, right? So on the weekend, you might have seen Trump tweeted, or sorry, on Truth Social, whatever it's called. Have you seen that thing?
Yeah, I saw something about the Trump coin actually.
Yeah, he
I don't know if
basically
you mean that.
tweeted, "Hey, Trump coin is the future, up only," something along those lines. We pumped like 20%. That was an easy short. Right, just
Yeah.
giving example, like you can still make bunch of money if you're willing to witness the cancer that we're going through right now. And
Yeah, that's true. Thoughts on the tariffs itself? Well, I think we are not really that macro expert experts to kind of go in deep into that. I'm trying to really look at you know, on like a just trading perspective. I think, look, I will once again venture into the traditional markets, which I know no one really cares about. But my biggest trade at this moment, my like highest conviction position that I'm in, and I have been kind of actively trading, is buying Canadian dollar from all the things, because I think that's once again, was very heavily targeted by Trump, by the tariffs, the whole kind of a narrative through that was like insanely bearish. Which these are basically the trades that I really like to take. Similar to like doing that, taking that reversal basically mid March. I haven't really played BTC that well, but I was able to. I was long Dow, which did really well. I was long some of the Max 7 stocks. So yeah, like for me, I don't really day trade that much. I don't really day trade altcoins especially. I try to keep it with like these bigger things, but I wouldn't say that I'm not using. Like obviously, I think it's very important to understand all the macro situation, at least to some portion. At the same time, you don't really want to get stuck in 200 long Twitter threads about the stuff. But yeah, for me, I generally just try to kind of feel like what other people are doing, and look at these things which are like heavily skewed when it comes to bias and narratives to one side. And I usually like, as European nature is, I usually try to take the opposite trade of like a very heavy sided sentiments. But yeah, for the tariffs, for me personally, I think that the trade is more or less coming uh to an end. And like the best case scenario for BTC right now would be rally for one more week, basically, and then we will see. Like you never can know what's going to happen after that.
so update to Hyperliquid thing. I had time to read. Basically, they settled the position at favorable price. So Hyperliquid lost no money. Which
I would love
I
to
mean,
trade it that
if you're
way.
when you're trading and you're underwater, you just roll the chain and you move in
I
time.
would love to. I would love to be trading like that.
I
when I
mean, that's
when I'm
literally
in
what
big
Alameda
loss,
did.
I would
No,
just
we don't
yeah.
like your position. Fuck you. No,
Yeah, can I
I
get some?
obviously I'm teasing. Everybody should make their own educated opinion what they think of the situation. Not ideal, even though the Hyperliquid vault took no loss. I think it's still a very big what the fuck. If they just gonna end up every time rolling the chain, or is it even a chain?
Yeah, it's that's obviously very slippery slope situation, I guess. I don't think either of us is very invested in Hyperliquid.
I mean, I had a
Personally,
bunch
I
of
know
money
that.
there, so I did take it out after the Ethereum situation.
Yeah,
Ash,
so I
can
know
they?
that.
Can I roll
Yeah.
out Ethereum price back to 4K so I can withdraw more?
Yeah, Vitalik should just roll out everything on ETH basically to like zero point 0 would be quite beneficial. Um, so yeah, that's kind of that. What else? Is there anything interesting? Is there anything we are missing? We don't have any news this week, so we cannot macro
There's
larp
I
more.
believe there's GDP on Friday.
Yeah, that's
So
like a not that big of a deal to be fair.
yeah, I agree.
Um, so we cannot really ladder there. We have we have NFP basically next Friday. It's like
Yeah.
a more meaningful news. Um,
I mean, it's been unfortunate. It's been pretty slow. TLDR, we bounced because of TradFi. I did close my BTC 87 like point 0.2. Got so much shit on Twitter, and Bitcoin has done nothing since. Hyperliquid and few other very manipulated and very pump and dump vibey situations. And honestly, like, I think crypto Twitter can be useful sometimes because I'm not sure about your feed, but it's so dead. You know, and when the quality of posts and shit just feels depressed, it's usually good, like representation of the price action is what I'm trying to say. And I mean, you don't have to trade, right? I have still get a lot of DMs like, what am I trading these days? I mean, nothing. It's not, you know, I don't. Do you feel bad admitting that you haven't taken a trade in a certain period of time? I don't. Like, how dare you not trade when you don't see a setup, you
mhm.
fucking peasant. I've traded Tesla. I think Tesla. It's actually insane. Tesla went up like fucking 30%. It's literally up more than. You know, if you were to like risk adjust it or market cap adjust it, it went up a lot more than like Solana that bounced a lot. You know what I mean? It's insane.
Yeah,
I enjoy
it's up
trading
like
Tesla.
25% from the lows after selling down 55% since the December. That's quite insane. To be, the most painful thing about it, I actually shorted like
Yeah.
434 and I closed it at like 330. So yeah, that's I kind of
Oof.
missed it. Another $100 drop would have been like it was already quite a big trade for me this year, and it would be much better if I would just held. Obviously, you know, it is what it is. I'm not complaining. I had like million trades like these. So it is truly what it is, but yeah, Tesla bounced back quite a bit, but to be fair, it got like molested super hard basically since you know Musk got all this hate and everything. It was funny because at the lows, like literally at the lows when you know S&P found the bottom, like there were these like Reddit threads about you know like if you hate Elon, you can you can short Tesla, and yeah, obviously that was like the point where this thing just bounced, you know, 30% to the upside. So it was quite funny. Yeah, I think the biggest question basically at this point is if the bounce is just a kind of a pullback basically in a more and the more pain is yet to come. I think one thing that I will be watching personally on the S&P, for example, we gapped up this week on the open. So I think if that gap is kind of going to if we basically lose that gap situation because like you
Mm.
there tends to be the situation when you know in futures which are obviously closed over the weekend when they gap up and we kind of cannot hold that gap. I think that's a pretty significant signal of like a more downside coming, which in that case, you know, tough to say how much lower this would go, basically. What do you guys expect for Solana this year if you were forced to map it out? Well, thank God I'm not forced to map it out. Because
Sorry, what was the question
then
again? I'm trying to. Where
what
do
do we
you read
think
it?
about Solana? It's on YouTube.
Ah.
If we were forced to say, well, I think personally, is that we had a CME futures launch, which is 10 days ago now. It wasn't the best success at all. Which is similar to like ETH futures, they are also shit, like no one really trades that. So I think for Solana, the biggest narrative is, and the most important narrative is still the on-chain coins and being this kind of a main place to go on trade on chain. So I think that would have to come back for this to be, you know, like a continuation trend higher. I think what a lot of people kind of forget about and not realize because of this Twitter and all this is that Sol since let's say what month is now? It's March, right? Yeah. So since March 2023, which is 2 years ago, not so long ago, Solana rallied 1,300% ish, more or less. I think this can go sideways longer than you can kind of stay mentally well. Uh, and for the market, which like, like we saw these things and you see these things in
Jesus Christ.
crypto. I think one of the coins which was pretty good representation of that was Injective, I think, which like rallied so much back in 2023, 2024, and like people, just kept being bullish. They still kept like basically forcing this kind of a continuation narrative because they were just like you have this like saying that you should be betting on strong things, which is true, but there's only certain amount of upside until markets just completely die down. Like everyone, like if you think about it from a point of view that like there are like so much money has been made in Solana, and I don't mean only the coin, but also on the on-chain stuff. Obviously, not all of it was legal, but but like there was like such a big wealth extraction, if that's the wrong word for it, over the last year or so, that like it's normal that these things are just not going to, like so, like people, saying that so is going to $1,000 or $2,000, this year, and we are so early and all of that. It's just like usually not how markets work, and the more liquid the markets became, like obviously Solana. I have no idea at what market cap it is, to be fair. I'm not going to even pretend. But like Solana had it's much easier to move coin from $20 to 200 than from 200 to 2,000 basically, right? Because that for that another 10x you need that market cap to once again go 10x, and it's much more volume, much more selling. It's not that easy thing to do basically. So I think I would be quite skeptical overall. I think like I think personally we just see more kind of sideways, if anything. I don't know, like obviously anything can happen, and I'm just like I hate these type of questions personally because like I think I trade decently systematic way at this point. I don't really use much of my own what I think because I'm pretty stupid in the first place. So
Yeah.
what I think very often doesn't happen. So I'm just kind of hoping that if things are about to go for the next leg up, I will look at my astrology for men indicators, and they will be also pointing the same direction, so I can be long. But I don't really sit here, and I think all these kind of like a year-long predictions and charts and all that is it's more of a Twitter engagement thing rather than like actual trading and actual like useful information.
One thing that with Solana and basically all layer one trade, including Ethereum in 2020, 2021, was basically narratives follow price truly. So like Solana, as Solana rallied, you had all the chain revenues, you had all these metrics booming, and vice versa. And I'm saying in dollars, before people say, oh, it's down because Solana is down. So it's just how it is. I agree with you. Memes basically coming back. It will come to Solana. It's still the best chain. So if meme coins find a resurgence, I would not mind a little break. Why not chop for a few months? Meme coins are gonna come back. People love gambling. People love speculation. It's the crypto's biggest use case in my eyes is gambling. It's as sad as it is, and like people are gonna stay gambling. Meme coins are the best venue. It's not perps on Hyperliquid, clearly, if they can just roll the chain and whatever. But yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe BlackRock. If BlackRock files for ETF, I think Solana rallies 30% instantly. But BlackRock executives said multiple times that they don't look to expand. But yeah, like, I mean, Does BlackRock maybe you know, maybe if I'm more than happy to get bullish if BlackRock files, you know. Am I gonna long here praying for a BlackRock listing? I think that's retarded.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Somebody asking where
Okay.
trading stocks is possible with USDC, or like maybe you can. I don't want to, like, you know, we're not sponsored by
Where
a TradFi broker yet, so
Yeah, I think you just
you literally just Google it. Respectful. I don't mean to be a douche,
yeah,
but
there are some ways that you can do it. I don't know if yeah, there are ways. Like there are, like regulated brokers, but you need to be from some parts of the world where it's legal, which is like not the US, for example. But yeah, if you are in Europe, there are some of the CFD brokers which allow you to trade stocks and also allow crypto deposits. So yeah.
and there's also some DeFi apps, but again, I don't want to shill something per se, but yes, you are in some jurisdictions where I'm from, I can do it. I'm not sure where you're from, so that is a good step one. You know, you have to KYC. People hate that, but I mean, it's 2025. And then you get access to trade some of these products on chain as well. But
Interesting.
feel free to DM me. I'm happy to, like. I just don't feel right. Doesn't feel right shilling something to like thousands of people watching.
Okay, okay. So, do you guys have something you want to check out, or that you feel like it's interesting? Because to be quite frank, I think we covered most of the stuff. S&P is selling down today, so that's not great for coins. I'm so mad I didn't I haven't shorted the ETH. I was just like, God damn it.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. If somebody wants Ethereum analysis, I'm cutting the stream. I'm sorry. Go ask somebody with mental illness. It's literally a waste of time. Like, I would
I was
rather
actually
start
thinking
singing
about
karaoke than
I
look.
was actually thinking about that. Let's just talk for a second about ETH. Um, that like I said, I mostly trade TradFi from like a stuff that I actively trade. And every week I look at crypto, I look at BTC, and then I'm like, should I look at ETH? Like, is that like even a reason for looking at ETH? Because
No.
obviously ETH has, very high correlation with Bitcoin. It's very consistent. So you are basically trading Bitcoin. It's just like more shit version of it. So yeah, I think it's really at the point where I think, what's the point? For ETH, but obviously, yeah, I think it's just weaker. Don't know. It's very. I just like feel like if things are gonna go up, if Bitcoin is going to go up, obviously it is going to go up as well, but it will kind of underperform. If things are going to go down, like how much more down it can go at this point.
But I
Yeah.
think that's a very unhealthy way to look at things, man, because people have been saying that now for years, and it's just getting absolute, and sorry for my language, but rape and murder. And like that was the most destructive argument for, oh, how much worse can it get? Much worse. But like, uh, I
I
would not
mentioned
give anybody
SUI.
hopium with Ethereum.
Let's move to some other things. So I mentioned SUI. It's yeah, it's at like a weekly level. Like I do this thing, right? If you open chart of SUI on 1 hour time frame, and then you open chart of Bitcoin on 1 hour time frame, you will notice that they are almost identical, basically. So yeah, Sui rallied a little bit yesterday, basically overnight. I don't know if there is any kind of a news or narrative for that, but yeah, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's really much of a relevant thing or something that I would like to long, for example. Obviously, it can go up, but yeah, we are truly becoming a old BTC people at this point, I feel like. Um, Gold, yeah, I probably won't talk about it here. I posted some of the ETF stuff. I think metals very quickly, just to not completely ignore it. I think metals are um in the point where everyone now is expecting them to just continue to go up. There are huge inflows in silver and gold ETFs. You obviously need to be retarded to try to short this, to try to short gold, which has been basically up only for last 4 months. This is exactly why I'm looking to short. So yeah, I am a little bit of a I have a little bit of a bearish bias on gold, but at the same time, I think it's very risky trade, shorting something that looks like gold, which is basically
Isn't it like the
outperforming every.
so isn't it like a basically uncertainty proxy? Meaning if you don't believe Trump's
Yeah,
bullshit,
yeah. It is like it's the biggest, risk of uh it's the biggest risk of thing. It's like the most proven risk of thing as well. Obviously, we had some other stuff, we had rally in TLT and bonds, which was much weaker. We had rally in the yen, um, which is already kind of fading quite heavily. We had the similar situation in Swiss franc, but these are more like, besides being safe haven, currencies, they are also influenced by dollar heavily, so it's a little more complex. But yeah, I think from like all of the risk of markets, I think gold has been really the the biggest one and the best performing one. But I think that also, uh, I don't know, I just still
look,
see some of the weakness kind of
I
in it at the moment. So
I can show this is my favorite chart, and I know I posted a lot on Twitter, but just I think this is single easiest explanation of risk on risk off. Gold, basically around the Trump election, dumped quite a bit. I mean, few percent, but TradFi rallied and Bitcoin just mega mooned, right? So you have it's like literally one goes up, the other goes down, kind of thing. It's just
yeah,
been that way.
yeah, yeah, it's true. But at the same time, gold has been like on an uh, insane rally. It's been up for like almost a year straight,
I mean,
basically. So,
it's been up only since inception of the chart.
uh, well,
Are
kinda,
we
yeah, but
arguing here 1 hour into the stream about chart of gold? Don't bet.
yeah, no, yeah, it's obviously very strong, and if the indices, especially and crypto and all the risk assets, gonna continue dying, I think a lot of people will, just flee to gold and metals in general, since these are seem to be proven now as the best kind of a risk of assets. I think bonds are not doing that well right now. Okay, so that's there. Mm, that's there. Cool. So we've been live for an hour. I think if there is not that many questions left, we will slowly wrap up the stream. As I have mentioned, the stream is sponsored by BonkBot. If you want to show us support, you can check out the link I just posted in the chat. You can make an account, which was free, and everyone can make it since it's on Telegram. We would highly appreciate it. And with all that being said, I think we will catch you guys next week after we live in the tariffs world.